Good evening, everyone. Hope everyone is well. As you can see, it's another calm night here in Justice Square Park. People are eating, people are having fun, people are with family and friends. People dancing on the side. The lights are on bright tonight on the roof of 514 West Liberty. They came on at 9:30 this evening. There were two marches. One started at 6:30 p.m. That was a farmers' march that was led to 6th and Jefferson. When we arrived, no more than 10 minutes later, did we go on another march. The farmers that had marched to 6th and Jefferson joined everyone who was at 6th and Jefferson, and almost everyone there went on another march down Liberty to 2nd to Jefferson, Jefferson and 2nd to 6th and Jefferson. And along the way, they said her name, yelled for justice. They reminded the city who these streets belong to. And they kept the momentum going. I don't get the feeling there's going to be another march tonight. But I did want to come on and talk a little bit about an extension that was being talked about yesterday, actually. And after some conversations that I've had with others about, the Citizen Review Board, about the impact that Grandmaster Jay had on the community here in Louisville, and I did watch another video that had been cycling around online about Grandmaster Jay's feelings about, or I guess, cleaning up a lot of the gossip that had been happening around the, quote unquote shooting that happened at Baxter Park. Apparently he was saying that, someone passed out, the shotgun failed, that it was so old it didn't have a safety on it, and that round went into the ground, and then shrapnel came up off the concrete into a leg, into a chest, into an arm. Hully, yes, they have. Something I don't think I said yesterday, but this may be just simply redundant or restating things that were said yesterday, but, Grandmaster Jay and his members came here to Louisville, stood on those steps after marching, a powerful march. Don't get me wrong. It was visually, and as far as energy is concerned, it was a very powerful march, a show of power, if you will. And, they came here and they stood on those steps and said they were going to tell us something we didn't know. And to an extent they did, definitely. But, giving the city 4 weeks to get answers, the judicial system to give answers in 4 weeks, and then learning that Daniel Cameron never actually gave a timeline, and then learning that, knowing that Grandmaster Jay and his members went back to where they came from, or left, if you will, pretty much, in my opinion, leaving everyone in the same place that they were before they even came, and not so much even a percentage of a plan to move forward to figuring out those answers, but I wish I knew, if anything at all, what Grandmaster Jay is doing to figure out the answers, to get the answers. Because if he's not, and he just left without any plan whatsoever, or some sort of stencil or an outline, what is he expecting to happen in 4 weeks? I don't know. And if that's the case, in my opinion, that show was nothing more than a show of power and a pep rally, if anything. Well, I will say this, you know, I asked Rosie about INFAC's presence. I've asked CTES about INFAC's presence. There is someone else I'd like to ask about INFAC's presence as well. And I'm going to see if I can find him now before I continue on with what it was I wanted to talk about. You know, I hope you all stick with me here as I do continue talking. Normally I don't. Some videos stay quiet while we, march and whatnot. What's that? Oh, I'm fine. That's going to be someone who's out here who's led a lot of the marches. I'm going to ask Chris. Now, I don't know if you all know Chris. I don't know if you all know Chris Williams, but this is Chris Williams here.
Hello.
You all seen him, met him before and whatnot. I just wanted to ask you, would you mind blowing the smoke?
My bad. Yeah,
there we go. I just wanted to ask you a few specific questions, but the first question, what are your feelings overall about INFAC, about their presence here, what they did, what they said, and yeah, how do you feel about them coming down to Louisville?
I definitely support them coming. I feel like the help was needed for them to come and demonstrate. Like there is some, like with anything, it's some good and bad to pull from anything. Like a lot of people were mad. There was a couple statements that was made by people that was coming on towards the sidewalks on the perimeter, saying people couldn't stand by them because they weren't fully black and stuff like that. Then people were mad because they were pouring the waters out, but anybody that's thinks strategic or in militia form, they don't know who's who that's bringing them water. The water could be poisonous, it could be anything. So they were pouring them out, and people were mad about that, but they didn't understand why. Now, as far as like when he came and he was like, I got 4 weeks, but this motherfucker's gonna burn. You feel me? Like it was gangster to me. You know what I'm saying? Because if everybody knows the temperature that's been down here on 6th and Jefferson, they know that the police look like almost chomping at the bit for any reason to shoot us with any kind of projectile, tear gas, whatever. They didn't do none of that. So you gotta kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like see that also, do we all need to go come out here with guns every day? You know what I'm saying? Because the response was nothing. You know what I'm saying? And they even told us, one of the snipers or scouts or whoever's on top of the building, look, you better get down or we're gonna kill you. You know what I'm saying? So it just showed me that like with numbers and, you know what I'm saying, being able to operate within the law to carry a firearm that look like shit gets done faster or you're heard clearly, when you come out in force like that. And there was a lot of people saying that I was talking bad about the NFAC before they came here, which I wasn't. And I definitely said that if you want to be happy about grabbing a gun and jumping in line to march with the NFAC when they come here, but not go get your gun and come down here and protect the people that's been down here getting fucked up every day, then I had a problem with that, because you should be able to have that same motivation and inspiration for the people that's been down there holding this stronghold down here at Brown and Taylor Park. So
I feel that. On the subject of, you mentioned that he gave that 4-week time span, right? In 4 weeks the city's going to burn. You got everybody to say it, whatnot. How do you take that? Do you take that literally, metaphorically? Like, I guess, what does it look like to you, the city burning, if no answers are getting given in 4 weeks?
Like I said in another interview, major news sources, not our news sources, WLKY, DRB, or none of them, but I'm talking about like major news sources were saying that they had a list of all the cities that burned, and all their demands were met, every last one of them. And then they singled out Louisville to the left, and it says nothing. Okay, so when people say y'all need to burn something down, that's the only way they're gonna listen. You kind of got like a consensus to go off of, because you're like, well, shit, everybody else is burning shit in other cities, getting what they want. Defund the police and everything. So, you know, like it's to the point to where, like, it's the pendulum swinging. Like, you know what I'm saying? It hasn't stopped on, hey, should we get in these meetings and talk about it and be humans and actually decent people and actually do the right thing, or burn it down? Now, when he said come back in 4 weeks, it's gonna burn, he has to stand on that. That's a strong statement. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I fuck with it. Like, from what I see of what they've done and demonstrations they've done, they ain't fucking around. That's why they shit's not fucking around.
And, you know, they gave that 4 week timeline. He didn't necessarily leave any outline or plan for all of us to like figure out anything or get anything done. So, do you think he's like just?
He didn't leave everybody with a paper like, do this until I get back. Like,
exactly.
He said what he said, and they marched right the hell back.
So, do you think they're just gearing up for 4 weeks to come back and?
I don't know. I know they definitely gonna need more than 500-600 people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's where we at. Like I said, it's the pendulum swinging. So it's like, it's really pressure on the city, the AG, the mayor. It's like, y'all, like, why wouldn't y'all like applying that kind of pressure? Somebody makes a statement like that, you would think that they would get whatever they're doing done fast.
And that's the thing too. You mentioned the AG, Daniel Cameron. You know, Grandmaster Jay said on those steps that, you know, he had a conversation with David James, he had a conversation with Daniel Cameron and others, Mayor Fisher, yada yada yada. But one of the things is that Grandmaster Jay said Daniel Cameron said 4 months he would take to recreate the case. But you know, in an interview maybe the next day, I don't know, 2 days later, it was stated that Daniel Cameron never talked about a timeline.
That's right.
So my question is, who's lying? Who's fabricating?
Yeah, like that's one of the things I was saying. I hope that it didn't get used just to fire the people up, and that it really didn't get said. But you know, politicians too, they could tell you one thing and then come out here in the press and like, I didn't say nothing. So it's hard. It's that's one of those things where whatever happens, it'll be able to see who was lying or who wasn't. So.
And I got one last question for you. You know, obviously, you know, I've been in them. You know, you've led a plethora of marches here from 6th Jefferson, around 6th, you know, a plethora of marches in general. Within this 4 weeks, you know, what are some things you're wanting to do to, I guess, get those answers? Like,
we definitely have a couple things planned between me and the other organizers and the organizations. That's all I can really speak on at the moment. You know, I'll tap in with you on everything anyway. We definitely got the meeting Friday with David James. So we got, we really putting the pressure on them now. Like, it's no more like, protesting is good, and everybody thinks that we're wasting our time, but we're occupying the space that's like right in the mecca of business downtown. And people don't even want to come down here no more. They clearly have already said it. It's also to the point where, yeah, that was a sound effect, y'all. But it's kind of one of those things to where, like we have to get some demands met, and the things that we talk about in these meetings, they have to be done immediate and have immediate action, and not no more, oh, we'll think about it, we'll give somebody some analyzers and think about what you guys are saying and blah blah blah. So, you know, but other than that, it's one of those. You know what I'm saying?
I definitely appreciate your time, Chris, and I'll let you get back to your night. But thank you so much.
Oh my God,
appreciate it.
All right.
There you have it. Interview with Rosie, an interview with C-Taz, an interview with Chris Williams. Go ahead. Hey there, sir. Good to see you again, sir.
You doing good?
I'm not bad. Yourself?
I'm doing good.
Good.
Where's that bicycle?
Oh, it's parked over there.
Okay, you doing all right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're working on starting that time to get together and having a baptism.
Gotcha.
We got some people who have confessed that they want to be baptized.
Okay.
So I'm gonna work with them.
That'd be cool.
Try to get something, help to change the
Yeah.
image.
Yeah, I know what
You
you
know what I
mean.
mean?
Yeah. I hope it goes well, definitely.
Yeah. It will. Got
Sweet.
to. Yeah.
Oh.
I think it's spirit in this place.
I hear that.
Yeah.
You take care,
All
sir.
right now. You leaving?
No, I just I'm just walking around.
Okay.
Yeah. yeah, so interview with Miss Rosie, interview with Tez, and now an interview with Chris. We heard those 3 different viewpoints and whatnot. You know, as Chris said, you know, he's been looking at those other cities that have had things burned down and the immediate effect from that. Yeah, Brittany, I actually I didn't know he was going to bring that up, but yes, there will be a meeting on Friday, and I will be there streaming the whole thing. Yes, this is a meeting that Chris has set up, and he asked me to come stream it, and yeah, so you can look forward to that being streamed as well. And yeah, I guess that's the end of my sentence on that one. You know, the other topic, of course, I wanted to talk about was citizen or / civilian review board. You know, the meeting that happened on the 24th, I did find some time to sit down and watch a lot of that video. I still have about 20 more minutes left to finish it, but to give you a synopsis on what I got from it so far, you know, please add to the conversation if you have seen the video I'm referring to, or if you were in the video I'm referring to. I say that because, you know, yesterday I felt I saw that Sadiqa Reynolds was on the line, and was able to converse with her and have a very good conversation after the live was over. And she is one of the people who was in the Citizen Review Board, the first meeting and the second meeting as well. But Keith, I do forget. I'll update you on that as soon as I find out. Basically, in the second meeting, there was a gentleman who is the executive manager, executive president of executive something. He was, let's just say, executive of the Atlanta Citizen Review Board, or as it was referred to in the video, the ACRB. You know, in Atlanta, they're working with a boosted budget of $200,000 from what I had learned that they had been budgeted here in Louisville, $753,000. And basically the Atlanta CRB, they deal with 150 to 160 cases a year. And they were asking them questions more, you know, how the citizens go about filing complaints, filing reports with the Citizen Review Board. Do they get into criminal investigations, or do they just serve and stick with citizens and deal with those cases? And it was very informative, but it seemed to me that what I gathered from that is Louisville is trying to see about mimicking that Atlanta model, is what I'm learning. It's what I'm gathering from that. I may be wrong in that, but that's just what I gathered from watching it so far. Once again, I still do have 20 minutes of it to finish. But anyway, that's really all I can say about that on that subject of citizen review boards. And as the progress continues with the one that the Mayor Fisher appointed, and an article on Courier Journal, please look this up as well. That's some things, you know, apparently Mayor Fisher is doing as it relates to the Citizen Review Board and reallocated budgets. He's looking for the Louisville Citizen Review Board to have that subpoena power that would be necessary to even make significant change. But, you know, the Citizen Review Board in Atlanta does have subpoena power, so I assume that's another reason why they reach out to him to get some viewpoints, get some insight on moving forward. I'm not sure, but yeah. Once again, as far as the interview with David James this Friday, I do forget the time that Chris said, but I'll be sure to get back to you all on that before it does happen. Should you all be interested in watching / listening to that. Just so many questions and so many things happening right now, and I appreciate you all walking with me on this, walking with Jason Downey, walking with Matthew Ballard, Tara Bassett, Shay Woolfolk, Antonio Teammate Taylor, and Summer Dickerson, and all of the Riot Heart, all the live streamers out here daily, doing everything we can to document the truth. definitely is a lot to document on the camera, and a lot to investigate as it relates to things we're seeing on the camera. You know, it's just the more and more I keep live streaming, the more questions I have, the more times it just makes me go, But as I said, we won't stop. Dana, no, I do not watch him every day. Contact Christopher 2X. I will reach out to Christopher 2X. I don't know what I would ask him, but I'll reach out to him, say hi, see where the conversation goes from there. What will the city look like on September 1st? So when that question in my mind goes to mimicking anything says that you're not being yourself. You know, Louisville is its own city. It has its own make, model, and you travel to a different city. You know, that city has its own feel. That city has its own way. There are of course similarities to it as far as a structure of a city, but if we're going to mimic another city, I would lean as of now that would not be a good thing. But I say that with a large amount, also layering a large amount of ignorance as well. And for the fact, once again, I still haven't finished the entire video that I'm basing the statement on, that they may be mimicking after the model in Atlanta. You know, there was a lot of vagueness said on those steps, a lot of concrete statements, a lot of necessary things to say, but from Grandmaster Jay. But I feel that, you know, everyone, I'm not going to speak on everyone, but it just feels that we were left in the same place we were before, in fact, came down here to Louisville. But all we have now is the simple fact that something's going to happen in 4 weeks. And bearing the question, are they even going to deliver on that? And also raising the question, was he just simply saying, hey, in 4 weeks, if you don't get answers, you all in Louisville, you should burn it down? I don't know. There was a lot of power. It was a very strong presence of power. You know, I know people reached out to them to try to join from Louisville. I know they got new recruits. How many, I'm not sure. But it definitely was a strong presence of power. One of which I appreciate that I was there to witness. Rather closely, actually, as well. I do remember him saying that, Brandy. I was looking around for that today and yesterday, asking people, have you heard anything? Have you seen anything? He did say he was going to leave members here. I haven't seen them. I haven't been updated on any progress on that note. But, so until I do see something concrete, I just have to, chalk it up to was blowing smoke, I suppose is the phrase. But I just don't know. I just hope it wasn't all for nothing, and not just an attempt to show power, gain members, and continue moving forward. I'm leaning toward it wasn't that. I'm leaning toward it was honest. I'm leaning toward it was something legit. But although it's early into the whole 4-week countdown, the clock is ticking, and so far, for my eyes and my ears, there's been no difference. I do not believe, in fact, burned down Atlanta, no. It's a calm and quiet in Justice Square Park here at 6th and Jefferson. Blair, yes, I do. I think that will happen very close to Derby, yes. You know, I really do. You know, I read about it all the time, you know, a city calling in law enforcement to clean up certain areas, you know, in very horrific ways, actually. But yeah, I do think it'll get very aggressive around Derby. From what I saw, Tony, they marched, they spoke, and they left. I'll agree with that, Brandon. Grandmaster Jay is very wise, very knowledgeable, very militant, obviously, very direct and very passionate about what he believes in. You know, it was a very strong force of presence there. My feelings on him saying the actions in Louisville have been ineffective. You know, I was very curious about that leading up to his arrival because, you know, our actions I don't think have been ineffective at all. I think our actions have caused change, have been one of the prime puzzle, I keep referring to it as puzzle pieces of change, if you will. You know, Breonna's Law, the fact that the continued pressure of the marches, of the protests, of people fighting to change state laws in Frankfurt, you know, people fighting for bills to be put in place, so that boards can have subpoena power, things happening like that. They have not been ineffective. No, for him to say that, I think he hasn't done his research, but I think he may be narrow-mindedly focusing on, you know, simply one of the demands that we are actually looking for, which is, you know, getting answers from those 3 police officers, seeing those 3 police officers fired, arrested, and prosecuted. But if he is focusing on that, and if he's able to come down here and not only get answers, not only like give us information we may or may not haven't heard before, but if he was able to come down here and then actually be fired, then I maybe would listen to him more. But, you know, it just seemed like for him to say our actions have been ineffective, and him come down here to say what he said and, you know, give the threat that he gave, and then leave, you know, I'm going to wait until these 4 weeks before I really say this next phrase, but, you know, that action would be ineffective, in my opinion. You know, if he's not able to get those answers, I don't know. Whatever Grandmaster Jay does believe that needs to happen next, that he wants to do, is that the answer? Is that the necessary step that needs to take place to get the change that we are all crying for, fighting for, marching for, protesting for on a daily basis? It really is. We shall see indeed. The biggest question is what's going to happen in between time here downtown and throughout Louisville. I appreciate it, Dave. I have respect for you as well. Honestly, I'm just trying to learn more and more as I can to try to understand what's going on. A lot of puzzle pieces, and the puzzle keeps getting bigger. Bigger and bigger. But I'm a guy who likes a nice puzzle. With that being said, everyone, I am going to go ahead and sign off for tonight. I noticed things for the past 2 days, maybe 3 days. I'm just going to go ahead and say after NFAC has left, things are closing up here at the park early, even before this whole 11 o'clock curfew, bright lights on the roof situation happened. And just to remind everyone or update everyone, if you all don't remember or didn't know why these lights were put up or why they started doing the 11 o'clock curfew, that entire process started immediately after the Stephen Lopez shooting, the day that Tyler Girth died. That very next day, tents were thrown in dumpsters and waste, and people were told that you cannot stay and reside, sleep out, camp out in Jefferson Square Park. The consistent fight for what I had been socially saying, take back Jefferson Square Park, that's when the 11 o'clock curfew came. And weeks after that, days from that, after that shooting, many things happened, and one of those things of which those lights were put on top of 514. And the days after were very aggressive, very aggressive. Things have calmed down a bit since, but still, it's been very aggressive in the beginning. But that's the reason why those lights were up there. Indeed, and ever since then, the lights have been put up there. There have been days where the police have not said anything at all, such as a curfew. There have been days where those lights have not come on at all. But, and there have been days where they turn the lights on at 9:30, as they did today, and they put out a 15-minute warning at 10:45, and then at 11 o'clock, both in English and Spanish, they say it's time to leave the park in their own way, whoever they are. But as we know as of now, they are the police. I noticed someone asked me earlier, do I do this professionally? No, I do not. Thank you, Regina. Thank you, everyone, actually. I appreciate it, Cheryl. Thank you, everyone. Roy, I am okay. I appreciate you asking. In Justice Square Park, 62 days. 2 months and 2 days, as CTES said earlier today. Breonna Taylor's killers, murderers, are still out there. Answers have not been given. The momentum is still strong. And no justice, more streams. Yeah, it's rather nice. I like it too. It's it's not the other one I had but it definitely gets the job done, and I look forward to a long time spent with that bike with heightened security, if you will, aka me just making sure I lock it up every time. Black Lives Matter. Good night, everyone. Until tomorrow. Until tomorrow.